Back up in this joint, man. Once again, it's your boy OG Hollywood, man. Yeah, we back at this Cellie Story thing, man. And for all those that haven't been tapping in lately, man, guess what though? This is the third Cellie Story, man. So let's get back up in here, man. And I ain't gonna tell you to hit that like button, but what I am gonna tell you this right here, man. I had a request the other day. And somebody got at me, man, say, hey, OG Hollywood, tell us about the time, man. Your last days in the Texas Public Criminal Justice, right? But dig this here. I can't tell you about that time until I tell you about the time when I got sent to the Texas Public Criminal Justice, right? It wasn't a good day for me. I mean, it wasn't a good day. And you know how you be in that jail, man, and you're gonna have them jailhouse lawyers, right? And they gonna tell you to take the trial and all this other good shit, man. And it took me years to figure out why they gonna tell you to take it to trial. Because they done already got sentenced that big ass time. So of course they want you to get sentenced to some big time too, man. They cold, man. It's a hell of a lick when you're in that county jail, man, and you don't know no better, right? So here I am in the county jail, man, knowing goddamn well that the crime I've been charged with, I did it. I did it, man. So for anybody that's watching this Cellie Story, man, that ever been behind them bars, man, y'all already know what I'm talking about. Them jailhouse lawyers will get you fucked over every time, right? They'll get you fucked over every time, man. So let me go on and get into this, man. So anyway, I go to court, right? And we already know, man, I'm sentenced for 13 aggravated robbery, right? You know what I'm saying? That just was my thing. Robberies. You know, I didn't believe in robbing no motherfucker that's in the streets, man. Somebody that was hustling like I was, man. So I always took it upon myself, man. When I did do what I did, I always targeted place of businesses, man, because I know one thing, the money is insured, right? And like I said, man, I'm from the streets, so I respect the street game, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, man, let me tell you this here. So I go to court. Where's the my motherfucking life? I go to court. They smash my ass. You know what I'm saying? For the robberies, they smashed me. Of course, let me not leave this out. I didn't get to that county jail without a motherfucker telling it on me, right? Anyway, man, but that's the breaks of the streets, man, because here's the deal. When your circle is big and you let everybody and their mama enter the circle, everybody ain't gonna be solid like you, man. So guess what? It's gonna be fucked up days, man, where you have to try to goddamn me adjust to that system, man. And most of the time it ain't gonna happen, man. You know, it ain't gonna happen, man. You're gonna have to just deal with whatever come to you. So that's what I did. But at the end of the day, what I didn't do, I didn't follow my first motherfucking mind. And my first mind was, you know what, man, I don't cop out for this shit, man, because you already know you done the motherfucking case, right? No, tell me why my smart ass had to go right down there and say, I'm gonna take it to trial. I took it to trial, and guess what? They smashed my motherfucking ass. All the way around town, I got smashed, right? They ain't let me make it. I mean, I got smashed. You know what I'm saying? Straight up motherfucker me life sentence, man. 25 years flat, and here I am in prison, right? So anyway, go to prison, man, you know what I'm saying, and adapt to that motherfucker. You know, some days was good, some days was bad, right? And I'm just gonna walk you through the parole procedure, man, and what you gotta do in order to get free. You up against a bunch of motherfucking shit. But I mean, what you up against a bunch of shit, you up against people in prison with you. I'm talking about the ones that you talk to every day, right? Because they don't want to see you leave either. They do not want to see you leave that motherfucking prison, right? And it could be the motherfucker right beside you. Now, it ain't mean that he hating on you. Everybody want to be on that bus going back to whatever city they come from, right? Everybody want to be on that bus, right? And so here's the deal with me, man. You know, I've been in that motherfucker so long, and I've seen so many people come and go, and I see more motherfuckers come than I did go. Put it like that. And the motherfuckers that did go couldn't adapt to the streets. So guess what they do? They come right back down to this motherfucker, man. And you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. Ask yourself, man, goddamn, is it that hard out there? Right? It's got to be. Or else this motherfucker just like running in and out of these fucking prison doors, right? I said, if I ever get that shot, these hoes will never get me again, right? But at the end of the day, I wasn't getting that shot until 25 years later, right? So anyway, man, it was dark as a motherfucker for me. It was dark for me, man. And most people, goddamn me, can't do no 25 flat. Most people can't do 25 flat, man. I'm talking about real people. That's what they call, they say, real ninjas, right? They couldn't even do 25 flat. So shout out to anybody that did that type of time, man, and went in the same way you came out. What I mean by winning the same way you came out, from a mental state, right? And not going down there getting transformed, right? From a man to a ninja that fuck men. Seen it all the time. So it's a lot of transformation go in that motherfucker, man. But guess what though? I ain't gonna get into that story. I ain't gonna go calling no names. I ain't gonna do none of that shit, man. But just know this. It's niggas that's out here that's sleeping with women was fucking niggas. Have I seen a lot of them? Yeah. But it ain't my job to call them out. It ain't my job to call them out. So guess what? I let sleeping dogs lie. But they know who they are. Niggas that was going up in that asshole. They know who they are. But it ain't for me to give them up. Right? Anyway, man, let me get back to my last days in that motherfucker, and I'm gonna show you the steps and the procedures that you gotta go through in order to get free, right? First of all, like I say, you gotta do a lot of motherfucking ducking and dodging, man. Because nobody wants to see you go free. It's like being on a slave plantation, right? It's like being on a slave plantation where you the slave and the COs is the plantation owner, right? Take me for an example. Worked in a motherfucking ODR, right? For all them years. You think these motherfuckers want to see me go? Hell no. They'll do everything in their power to see your ass stuck in there, right? And the man that's beside you, whether he be the grill cook, floor waiter, dishwasher, or whatever it is, in the back of his mind, he's like, damn, I gotta beat this nigga out, man. I gotta beat him out, man. You know, and that's just how your mind think when you're in that motherfucker, right? And I gotta be the first to admit, man, I used to see niggas go, and all I could ask myself, damn, man, why that couldn't be me? That's just a natural thought, right? It's a natural thought because you gonna always think you can stay free longer than the next motherfucker, right? And if you had your shot, this is what you would do, you know? Like I say, man, everybody get a time, but sometimes it don't be a nigga turn. Did you catch that? Right? That's just like in the free, man. Everybody get a time to have money, but is it your turn yet? And what you gonna do when you get the money, right? Some niggas can get a shitload of money, and a fool and his money will soon depart, right? It's a true statement. It's the same thing with freedom. A fool and his freedom will soon depart, right? Because a lot of niggas get out, man, thinking they gonna do the same thing they did before they went to prison, which is fucked up. Because nigga think he got a better way to hustle when he get out. You know, you heard a whole bunch of niggas down and say, man, what you gonna do when you get out? Nigga, I'm gonna have some money, right? In other words, he gonna do the same shit and try to do it in a different way, thinking it's gonna be a different result. Wrong. Your ass going back to jail, right? And that's why most motherfuckers don't stay free, because they get out thinking they're gonna do the same shit that they went for the first time. They think they're gonna do it a whole nother way because they went down there and laid up in this motherfucking cell, as you can see behind me, for a bunch of motherfucking years and come up with a new way of getting back locked up. That ain't no good look, right? So before I move on, man, shout out to any motherfucking body that's been free for a long time and know how to stay free. Them the motherfuckers that's real. All the real motherfuckers is free and not dying up doing shit for free. So, like I say, man, my last days in Texas Department of Criminal Justice, man, when I found out I was getting parole after motherfucking 25 years, man, guess what? It was like being reborn all over again. Motherfucker, I didn't know it was jump for joy, motherfucking cry, or motherfucking laugh, right? Because like I say, all days in that motherfucker ain't bad. You know, all days ain't bad. Why? Because nigga understand one thing. When you're in a fucked up situation, you gotta make the best of the fucked up situation, or the situation gonna make the best of you. So you gotta choose what you choose, right? And at the end of the day, guess what? I chose to do the time, not let the time do me. But it's a lot of motherfuckers let their time do them, man. You will see them, right? You will see them, you know. But anyway, man, this is my story in a time when I was getting parole and in my last days. A lot of shit gonna try you. A lot of shit gonna try you, especially when they find out you got that motherfucking FI1. You know, it's what I mean by FI1, man. FI1 is the motherfucking most crucial thing that a man can get when you're locked up, man. It's like gold, but it ain't no fool's gold. It's real gold. When you get that motherfucker FI1, the same way they ran you through that motherfucker, they're gonna run you out. Same way, quick. So you have to make a real mental adjustment real quick, man. Because guess what? When you get that FI1, you ain't going to no classes. You ain't going to none of that shit that's going to prepare you for this motherfucker right here. And we all know this here. Guess what? Motherfucker me, freedom don't come with no instructions. So if your ass get out and get free, it ain't on your shit, back in that motherfucker that you see behind me, right? And they welcome you back. Like I say, this is my story. So for anybody that want to create a story, take your ass on down there, and you goddamn have a hell of a story when you get back out. Because right now, you know, the word is, man, they smoking K2 now. They smoking K2. But they were smoking when I was down there, but it wasn't just fluent like it is now. Them niggas got a bunch of motherfucking time and smoking K2. So what you think that add up to? Crazy, right? But anyway, man, not to knock them. Shit, they just doing what they can do, man. And K2 was the thing in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice nowadays, right? But anyway, like I say, man, let's get back to this shit, man. My last days spent in that can, man. This is how it went. Go to parole. Stay with me. Go to parole. Boom. I see them. It's a lengthy ass process, man. You got to wait a long stretch before you hear an answer, whether you leaving that joint or you staying there, right? And sometimes you can do a long stretch, them motherfuckers will come back and tell you, we'll give you a 3-year set out. That's going to break you. It's going to break you. That's just like getting the whole sentence all over again, right? So you gotta brace yourself for that shit. And if you don't, you're gonna wind up doing that 3-year set off, and ain't no telling how much other time on top of that shit just because you went backwards in the game. And it's a lot of motherfuckers do that, man, because they can't handle the pressure of the 3-year set off, man. Can't handle that pressure. Check this out. So anyway, man, I go to parole, man. I get motherfucking 3 set-offs. That's 9 years worth of set-offs, right? 9 years worth of set-off. And take a hell of a motherfucker to go back to the drawing board and say, you know what? I got to just keep doing what I've been doing. It's been working this far, right? Even though I ain't seen no daylight, but I can't be no damn fool and go backwards. And there's a lot of them down. And like I said, you're going to get tried by a lot of people. I'm talking about motherfuckers that would never, ever try you before you made parole, right? They would never, ever try you. Check this out. So anyway, man, I get the little old lay-in slip, man, and it's a slip about this, it's kind of small, man. They tell you, hey, man, you're going to see the unit parole, which don't mean shit. Everybody got a parole day. It's just like everybody in the world got a motherfucking day to die. So anyway, man, I get the parole slip, man. I'm like, here we go again with this shit, right? But I go to parole, man. This time I feel different. I said, man, I got to make this motherfucker. That's just in my mind. But I had an all-star lineup behind me in the free. All-star lineup behind me in the free, So for anybody, man, that's looking at this Cellie story, man, I call it a Cellie story, man, because when I was behind them bars, man, I'm in the cell, right? And all this shit go, man, whether it be funny, not funny, it all depends on how you look at it, man. But what you cannot take away from this shit is the educational shit, man. This shit is real, man. This shit ain't fake. This ain't no fake shit. 25 years, man, I've seen a lot of shit in prison, man. And I'm just really just goddamn me getting started on telling the motherfucker this shit, man. It's ugly, man. I swear it's ugly. I mean, it's so motherfucking ugly, man. It'll knock you to your knees, man. But you got to get your ass back up, man, because ain't nobody put you in a situation but you, right? So check this out. So anyway, man, I've been waiting a long time to get this one particular motherfucking piece of paper, man. And that motherfucker said granted parole, right? Like I say, you have to have an all-star lineup behind me, and it ain't gonna give up after all that time, cause when a motherfucker do them double-digit years, man, people goddamn me leave, man. They don't stay in place, man. Not even family members, man. So shout out to anybody family, man, that's staying in place, man. Shout out to anybody motherfucking girl that's staying in place, man. And I had an all-star lineup, man. With no names need to be called, man. But without her, I wouldn't be here. So shout out. So anyway, like I say, check this out. So man, let me walk you through that last 2 weeks of me waiting on that motherfucker paperwork, right? So this is what happened. Last 2 weeks of paperwork, the prison shit didn't change. Like going to work and all that shit right there, man. None of that didn't change, right? But what did change was this, the mindset, right? I never forget, man. I'm coming down these motherfucking stairs, right? Coming down these stairs. and it's a window right there where you can look out straight in the parking lot, man. So I said, man, look out that window. So I look out the window, right? And when I look out the window, man, my whole motherfucking body jumped outside the window. So, I mean, you know, I'm in the parking lot now. I'm in the parking lot. That's when I knew then. I said, man, I'm out of this bitch. Right? I'm out of this bitch. And then they had just kind of installed the phones in there, man. So I'm staying on the motherfucking phone, man. Phone bill $500, man. Every motherfucking 2 weeks. Phone bill $500, man. Like I say, man, thanks to my team that I was able to pick that motherfucker up and call anytime I got ready, man. So I'm one of the fortunate ones that was in that motherfucker, man, that you know, had a motherfucker supporting cash, even though I did 25 flat, right? So check this out. The same actions in the same way that I did when they gave me that motherfucking time, it was the same thing they set me free. And I ain't gonna even lie to you. When them hoes told me, man, you've been sentenced to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice on a life sentence, and you got to do 15 years for your eligible for parole, nigga, I went back to that cell. But I said, boy, I say, that's real pain, expensive pain. I mean, that's expensive pain, man. And they ain't gonna tell you. They gonna, you know, because most motherfuckers gonna say, oh man, I just took it like a man. Yeah, I did too. But when nobody wasn't watching, I cried like a motherfucking baby, nigga. I cried. And that's for real. But it's two ends of this shit that take place. When they give it and you receive it and you get out, you're gonna get them same feelings all over again, right? So anyway, man, I get a phone call or I make a phone call and I say, what's the verdict? What's the verdict, right? So my other half said, man, we waiting. My other half said, we waiting. They told me to call back after count, right? So anyway, like I said, I go upstairs, come back down, and looked out that window in that parking lot, man, I'm out of this bitch. I just knew I was out of this bitch, right? But it didn't come without no motherfucking tries. Somebody had to try me, right? Never forget, man. And this nigga out of Fifth Ward, man. Nigga out of Fifth Ward, right? We was on the basketball court, right? And I already knew I was supposed to slid back from that shit, man. But when you in there doing time, man, you know, you don't know if you're gonna make it or you're not gonna make it. So you just can't change lanes and cut everything off real quick, right? So anyway, man, we on the basketball court. And we hooping, man, and niggas started fouling, you know. And finally I said, fuck this shit, man. What you want to do? What you want to do? So I'm like, all right, so we go to the wall, right? But what saved the situation was this, right? One of my real partners came up and said, Wood, man, you just seen parole. You gonna fuck it off for this sucker? But that's the system thinking. I wasn't thinking. So shout out to my partner, man, for saving the situation because I couldn't see what was behind the curtain, and that was freedom, right? And it's one thing I never did when I was in that bitch, man. I didn't run with no dick riders, man. If a nigga was a dick rider, you wasn't in the circle, man. Yeah. Didn't run with no dick riders or no yes man. Went with all motherfuckers that gave respect and got respect. And wasn't afraid to get in your motherfucking face and let you know exactly what time it was. Real talk. Real talk. And like I say, man, you got a lot of people with Cellie stories. But this is my motherfucking story. In my time, in my last days, spent in that motherfucker, right? Real, and it was raw. Some days was good, some days was bad. But on this day, I had that same feeling, like I said, when they gave it to me. It was like me giving it back, right? And been free ever since. Put it like this: not no months, not no days, double digit years. So I'm one of the ones meant what I said. You'll never get me back in that bitch. So anyway, back to the story. Let me walk through this here, man. So if I want, man, you'll be released, man, in 45 days, right? So come back down. Pick up the bat phone. That's the phone in the day room. It's blue in the motherfucker. So I pick up the bat phone, call the high. So anyway, my other half going to, they gonna goddamn me drag it out before they give you the good news. That's with anybody, man. But they gonna deliver that bad news swift. But the good news, they gonna drag it out, right? So anyway, I said, what happened? So she went to tell me about some more shit. I said, look, cut to the chase, man. Let me know what happened. So anyway, she said, man, give all that shit away. So I said, what happened? She said, you remember I told you I asked for FI1? And FI1 means you coming home in 45 days. So my institutional mind said this: why you ask for FI1? She said, shit, because you don't need to go to no motherfucking program. You need to be out that bitch in 45 days. But my institutional mind saying, if you ask for the big thing, I mean the lesser thing, they'll let you go. That's just me in my institutional mind. I'm fucked up like that. That's because I had been inside the institution that I adjusted to. And it don't mean that I was crazy. It just means that when you're inside of any institution, you adjust to the situation. So my thing was this: I'm thinking small and they'll give you big. Not on that day. Big on top of big, right? So anyway, I get the FI1. And it's like I'm on stage, right? Because motherfuckers in the day room know I'm waiting on the answer. So I'm like, they like this here looking. Watching me on the phone the whole fucking time, right? So I get the FI1. Boy, when I got that motherfucking FI1, it was like a motherfucking Grammy. When I spent back around, the whole motherfucking day room like, man, Wood, what's up? I said, man, I'm out of this bitch. Niggas jumped like a motherfucker, like we had just won the motherfucking Super Bowl. I'm talking about all the real ones that was on the team, right? Because guess what? That meant they were somewhere in line to get their answer and to be set free. But once again, it did not go without notice of somebody that's gonna try it, right? And I told you before I got the answer, that motherfucker called me all type of bitches. First time in the history that motherfucker called me that, and I let him get away with it. But I had a bigger fish to fry, man. I had freedom on the line, man. So in my last days, that motherfucker, I got an FI1 and know that I was being released. The most beautiful thing in the world, man. Beautiful thing in the world, man. Like I said, it runs swiftly, man. Once you get the FI1, they take it out and draw your blood, test you for any kind of motherfucking disease. And the blood is for the DNA. So if your ass get out here and get a murder case or get a sex case, they got you on file, right? They got you on file, man. But you got so many different FIs, man. I was just forced to get an FI1, man, while I released out of that motherfucking 45 days, have to go to no program, have to answer to none of that extra shit, right? Like I say, man, my Cellie Story, my last days in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, man. All I want to do, man, was drop some knowledge on anybody that that was inquiring about my last days in Texas Department of Criminal Justice, man. This video is for you, man. It's real and it's raw and it's humorous, man. Like I say, man, it is what it is, man. And I ain't gonna tell you to hit that like button and subscribe. None of that. We passed that, man. All I want to do is share this here, man. My last days in Texas Department of Criminal Justice, man. You will get tried, man. It's up to you, man, whether you take the child to understand that freedom is the most important thing in the world, man. Y'all stay up, stay free, and stay out, man. Salute.